everybody, what's up? It's Grace, and right now I'm going to be doing a cumulative book haul. These are the books that I've gotten since my last book haul, which I really know when that was, but whenever that was, this is all the books that I've acquired since then. Some I bought, some I was sent, and I'm just really excited about every single one, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. So the first book I got is massively popular, and that is Restore Me by Tara Mafi. I cannot believe that we even have this, and I think we're getting another one, or if not two additional books to the series, which is just like, I'm so excited about it. If you didn't know, the Shadow Me series holds an epic place in my heart. The Shadow Me series came at a great time in my life where I just needed it, and I read that in like 2 weeks. That was my life for a solid 3 months. Like, I would go on Pinterest and look up like pin boards of Warner and Juliet. Like, I was in love, and I still am in love. I cannot wait to read this. I'm actually pretty terrified to read this. I can't believe I haven't yet picked this up, but I've made it a mission that I'm going to finish the book that I'm reading today and start this one. But anyway, when this book came out, I went with my sister to go get it at Barnes & Noble, and they didn't have it, and I was like, the next Barnes & Noble was 30 minutes away, and I was like, Jessica, please be the best sister in the world and take me, and she did, and I got it, and I still haven't read it, but she's the best sister ever, and Warner is life, and Kenji, I'm actually super freaking pumped to start this today, so that is this. The next book I received from Penguin Teen, so thank you so much to them, and that is Immortal Reign by Morgan Rhodes, the 6th book in the Fallen Kingdom series. I have yet to read the 5th book, and I really need to do that. I probably will reread the 4th book to kind of refresh my mind. I've sadly lost sight of this series. Like, it used to be my favorite, and I kind of just like lost the love for it, or I just kind of got to rekindle that somehow. But I'm not as excited as I would have been like a year and a half ago to read this, but I know that I love it. I know that Magnus and Cleo are like a power couple. They're one of my favorites of all time. I just really gotta just push myself to read it, and then I know once I start it, I'm gonna not stop, so that's the good part. And also the Book of Spirits and Thieves, like, I really love that series, and I'm waiting for is a book 3 to come out, because once that book comes out, I will read it, unless it has come out, and I'm just like totally out of the loop, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I really want to read that book. Next book I was sent by Simon & Schuster, and that is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This book has been going around BookTube with quite a storm, but if you didn't know what it's about, it's a duo perspective book. We follow Penny Lee, and she's gone through high school. It's a non-event for her. Nothing has been exciting. She has just friends, a kind of okay boyfriend. Like, nothing has been great, and she's waiting for college for that epic experience. And then we also follow a guy, Sam, and he is stuck in life financially and just in his mindset. He's working at, I believe, a diner to save up money because he wants to be a famous film director, and somehow their paths intertwine, and their meeting is really awkward, and they don't really know what to say, but somehow they do exchange numbers, and via text they get to know each other really well, and they're telling each other all their secrets and their vulnerabilities, because it's quite easy to tell someone that without being able to see them face to face. I know from personal experience, I would way rather just never see someone in like via text, but I know that's like not realistic, and I do need to actually see them in the physical form. But it's just nice, like a nice icebreaker to get to know someone online. Totally, I connect with that. So I'm very excited to read this one. So the next book I got at a secondhand store, and that is Lavender and Old Lace by Myrtle Reed. And I have no idea what this book is about. I think it's classic, not sure. I know it's kind of bad, but I just saw this and I was like, ooh, that's a pretty looking old book. And then I also read the first paragraph, and I found the writing just to be super satisfying. I just like the weird words and how they sound to my ears. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read the first paragraph for you guys. The light in the window. A rickety carriage was slowly ascending the hill, and from the place of honor on the back seat, the single passenger surveyed the country with interest and admiration. The driver of that ancient chariot was an awkward young fellow, possibly 25 years of age, with sharp knees, large red hands, high cheekbones, and abundant hair of a shade verging upon orange. He was not unpleasant to look upon, however, for he had a certain evident honesty, and he was disposed to be friendly to everyone. Love the way that sounds. So I will read this eventually. The next book I was sent by Amazon, so a big thank you to them, and that is Bone Music by Christopher Rice. This book sounds crazy. There's so much going on, so let me try to formulate it into words of understanding. Okay, so we follow a girl, her name is Charlotte Rowe, and for the past 7 years, she's only known her parents to be these crazy serial killers who murdered her real mother, and they're trying to mold her and shape her for their own sick agenda. And so when she finally escapes them, she thinks the nightmare's over, but sadly, her biological father just sees her as profit and something that he can exploit as a press or a book just to make money off her. So when she finally escapes him, she's somehow dosed with this experimental drug and she's thrown into this world of corruption, and I think there's people after her. This book just sounds crazy. Her life is literally a series of unfortunate events, and I am really excited to read this. I feel like it's going to be a page turner. I really love the blurb for it. It says, "What happens when a woman becomes a weapon?" Well, I believe that all women are weapons. Like, I really love that tagline. When I started this book, I know there's no putting it down. The next book I was sent by Penguin Teen, and that is Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Colleen. This is going to be the book that I read after I read Restore Me. I've made an admission because this sounds freaking phenomenal. So it's set in 1939 in Germany. We follow a girl named Sarah, and her mother was unfortunately killed at gunpoint by the government, and so Sarah is on the run from the government who wants to take her to a concentration camp. So while she's on the run, she meets this guy who wants to recruit her as a spy, and she's tasked with infiltrating this boarding school that's housed by the daughters of high-ranking Nazis, and there she's tasked to befriend a daughter of a high-ranking Nazi doctor who has plans of this bomb that's set to destroy the cities of Western Europe. She also has prior experience with acting because I think she went to school with acting before the war. So I really, really love that detail in there. I am so excited to read this. This book sounds freaking like everything I've ever wanted. So yes. This next book sounds so powerful and I'm so excited to read it. And that is This Is Not a Love Letter by Kim Purcell. So in this book we follow a girl named Jessie. She's on a week vacation before graduation, and her boyfriend Chris are set to make all the scary decisions about their future after graduation. But unfortunately Chris goes missing, and Jessie believes that there is something not right about his disappearance, but the entire town's like, he probably just ran away, he's intimidated by the future and he needs to get some perspective elsewhere. But Jessie believes in her heart of heart that just something is not right. And given that Chris is one of the only black kids in the town, and a week before his disappearance he was beaten up by a bunch of popular kids from high school, she knows that something's not right. So she takes it upon herself to figure out what the heck is going on, where the town is just kind of turning a blind eye to it and not believing that this may be a hate crime. Like I said, this book is just going to be really powerful and such an important story that is so needed, especially right now, and I am very excited to read it. The next book I received from Disney Books, so thank you so much to them, and that is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. And if you're not aware, it's going to be a new movie, and I saw the trailer and it looks really good. I've been always skeptical to pick up this series because there's pretty mixed reviews, but since the trailer came out, I love the girl that's playing the main character. I decided to read this before I see the movie, and yeah, I just hope it's really good. Next book I received from Little Brown, and the first time I read the synopsis I got literal chills because it sounds amazing, and that is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. We follow a girl, her name is Leah Chen Sanders, and her mother has recently committed suicide. And Leah is for sure about one thing, and that is after her mother committed suicide that she turned into a bird. So she travels to Taiwan to meet her maternal grandparents in hopes to find her mother in the form of a bird. And while she's in Taiwan, she builds this really great unexpected relationship with her grandparents, and she also is uncovering all these family secrets. She also has to come to terms with, while her mother was committing suicide, she was kissing her best friend, and so how could at the same exact time she could be enjoying herself while her life is pretty much ending. And I think that that is such, oh, it makes me emotional, but I think that is like great, because like how can you be happy when something so devastating has happened? Like, how in the same time could you feel happy and then the next moment everything has just been taken away from you? And I don't know why I'm so emotional, but this book is gonna wreck me, but also I just know that it's just gonna be amazing. Next two books I got at a secondhand store, and the first one is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, the third book in the Mortal Instruments. The reason why I got this is I already own it in a different edition, and I do own all the books in this edition, but not this one, because the last 3 freaking times I've had this book, I've lent them out. I don't know why. I mean, I definitely think that this is like the best book in the series. Everyone wants to borrow that, and every time I lend it out, no one ever returns it. So I saw it for like $2 and I was like, that's mine. And the next book I got is Twilight by Marissa Meyer. The story behind this book is I read the series when I was 16. I'm 21 now, and when I read Twilight, I really loved it. I really loved Twilight. But then I hated the second book, I hated the next books, like I just did not like them at all. And then I got to a point in my life where I was like, I am way too good to own Twilight. Like, Twilight is like the most problematic book ever, so I got rid of it. And then recently I've just been like, I really want to reread Twilight. Like, I know it's problematic and whatnot, but it's such a staple for me because it did start a lot of my interest in reading and interest in like paranormal books. So I owe a lot to it. I am aware that it's problematic and I could read it with like a different mindset. I know it, but I could still squeal, you know, I could still get really excited about it, and I will reread this eventually. So those are all of the books for this book haul. If you've read any of these and you want to tell me your thoughts, I would love to know. What's a book that you're really highly anticipating reading? Because I love to hear all that excitement. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a great time wherever you're at, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.